in the front cover. That's how we used to do it back in the day. They would put the winners' faces in the cover. There you go.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, he's being coached by an E-World Cup champion next to him. Can he go that extra step further, though? This is what we're talking about for this matchup. It's a chance to re-qualify yourself for another FUT Champions Cup. Well, you already know the 4 players on PlayStation that have done that for FUT Champions Cup number 3. Clash Crazy, #Harry, AS Roma, Dami, and of course SPQR, Paolo Nito. 4 names already in the hat for FUT Champions Cup. Stage 3. We have found out 2 Xbox players, and then Rajak and Tex, but who will be the next 2 players as well? Of course, we will be following the other matchup, which is Molnar Garbo against Gabriel PN from Team R10. So do not go anywhere. These are our last 2 matches from day 2 here in Bucharest of the FUT Champions Cup. And really, we should be in for one last surprise or 2.
You're catching up a little bit with Mr. Diogo before this game started, and he was telling us, expect an interesting game, expect an exciting game. Seems as though all his games right now are going down to penalties.
They have been. They've been going right to the wire. I think it helps as well that he is quite young, still as a FIFA player, so he's quite fearless in a number of ways.
As well, yeah. He's not faced a lot of sort of bad experiences while competing, and I think that helps you. If you look at somebody like, for example, New York City Chris, a lot of times when you're making Swiss round 5 or you're going out in sort of really high-end, high-octane matches, he were losing those matches, and for him, winning the E-Champions League was sort of the weight off the shoulders. Now I am one of the big players. Now I am one of the major winners. I think Diogo, he's not had any of those bad experiences yet. Yeah, he's lost a couple of penalty shootouts, but he's pretty positive all round, you'd say, in the Diogo camp.
So the only negative he had would be that last-minute Calvin Lewis, winner that Tex scored in the E-Premier League. For sure, you'll be thinking, I remember that face from somewhere. Diogo did represent Fulham in the E-Premier League last year and made it to the console final on Xbox, in which he did lose to the hands of Tex. Obviously does represent a Sporting Club de Portugal, alongside the likes of Bruno Rautor and Wendell Lira, who's recently just signed for them. Gas winner.
You also saw the Portuguese fan support here in his mum as well at the event with him.
I'll tell you what, Messi trying to get this game underway. Just dropped the shoulder with that left foot finesse. Alisson could just do enough to make the save, but back to your point, Richard. Yeah, you saw that kind of Portuguese community go insane. Is that going to fall to R9? Alisson again. He's going to be offside. We're going to go back for a free kick for the goalkeeper.
When he won the penalty shootout, you saw the real engagement from all the Portuguese players here with him. It's really great to see. He's almost got 2 communities behind him, with the British players and also the Portuguese.
Well, his performance from stage 1 for Diogo, he got himself into the knockouts, as I said. Round of 16, he got knocked out. He actually sits joint 9th at the moment in the Global Series rankings. Of course, that's going to have a huge update next week when all the points get added. But he's on 330 points, so he's gone one step further already, Richard. So we'll be looking, if he can win this, to add 800 points onto that tally. Yeah,
the rankings at the minute, there's a lot of players tied on points. There's not really too much to look at apart from number 1, number 2, really. However, if he does win this game, as you said, 800 points will be upgraded onto his tally, and then you can really start looking playoff secured, potentially, already. People are talking about Clash Crazy, maybe sort of looking towards Grand Final, maybe looking towards definitely into that region where he is really starting to succeed right now.
I think I heard Dan say earlier as well, like the likes of, you know, if Paolo Nito went on a crazy run and ended up in a cross-console final, he might have done enough for the E-World Cup.
I think we're going to see this year, a lot more than last year, different names. It's going to be different faces. Because of the restrictions, people aren't going to be able to dominate as much as they did in previous years, especially last year. So now, that's why you're seeing completely different teams, and and different players competing at the events.
That one just goes for a goal kick for Diogo.
Important to point out as well that we are going to have staggered quarterfinals here. So we're currently watching Nse Vini versus SCP Diogo. However, Monagabo versus Gabriel from R10 will be kicking off roughly about the 90th minute. So we're going to see the culmination of both games.
Exactly that. If you are following a certain pro, do not go anywhere. Gabriel up against Monagabo, the Hungarian FIFA player. We saw him back in FIFA 18, if memory serves me correct, not just at a FUT Champions Cup. He made both of them. He was also involved in the V4 Future Gaming Festival. The back-to-back qualifications was kind of the big talking point for him this year. Nse Vini puts that one all the way over. Eusebio, a lovely touch, unfortunately slightly too heavy though off his chest, but looking at the run that Diogo has had, he went 4-1 in Swiss, Richard. Won 4 games back-to-back and then came to a little bit of a halt in round 5 in which he had to come up against MS Desari. That was for seeding. He lost 4-0 in that game.
On the other side of it, how has Nse Vini been getting on in Swiss?
Yeah, he finished 3-2. Started the day off with a win against Icaro yesterday. We're talking about here in the Swiss. Played against Megabit, lost that game. Ended up winning the penalty shootout against the Swede in Oli Itu. It's kind of a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. Played against Emrajek and then finished the day with a 2-1 win against Crafty, which ensured he got that 3 wins on the board and he would be into the knockout stages, which we saw the round of 16 games earlier today. He was able to take down Megabit and really get revenge.
In quite emphatic fashion as well, 5-1. He did beat Megabit as we're coming into half-time here. Nothing really to celebrate in this first half for either set of fans.
And there was a half-hearted chance for Diogo, but other than that, nothing too much to call home about as of yet. Half-time. This is the important bit when both players will just take a word from their coaches. Nothing really to cheer about as of yet, though. There was, what, 2 or 3 chances for Diogo. The ball was just ricocheting around the box. You can see that on your screen. 2 shots, 2 on target from him. Certainly does look like the stronger player out of the 2. And we were speaking to him earlier, as I said, before the game went. Said he's rocking a 4-4-2 at the moment. He's happy to back Zidane in there as well. There was kind of the joke that was running around in the last cup. He didn't have a coach, and it was something that he talked about and said, I came into this tournament with no coach, and to be honest, I thought to myself, why do I need a coach? You know, he looked at other people in tournaments and said, what's the thing about having a coach? Because some people bring their mates, some people actually bring out and out, you know, FIFA coaches. And he left that event saying
he
needed a coach because not someone that, you know, he's got an E-World Cup winner behind him, which is absolutely fantastic, but he's not really a player that needs someone to tell him exactly what to do. It's more just to reassure him and calm him down, because there's a few times when I was speaking to Francisco, he said it was just simple stuff, just calming him down in between games, that penalty shootout that he had to play in.
So you'd say probably more of the mental coach for Francisco, someone who's been a winner, who knows how to handle certain situations. And you mentioned his age, Diogo. He's not really had the experience of a number of other players. Someone like a Maestro needs more of the tactical coach to look at their opponents, because he's had the mental struggles, he's had the rages, and now he seems to have mellowed a lot.
Yeah, I spoke to Maestro as well today. He was like, you know what, I might have lost, but I lost to a very, very good player. He said Clash Crazy is a fantastic player, and that's what he said in the end. All, you know, the upright respect for him, which I thought was very professional from the Frenchman.
Saying all the right things.
It's Diogo a little bit too aggressive there. And Carlos Alberto, if you have just joined us, this is our first leg in our final few matches of day 2 here in Bucharest, Romania. We're just trying to find out who will be our last 2 names to go into the hat for Championship Sunday, in which we will be crowning potentially a new FUT Champions Cup winner. I mean, Tex could go and win it again. The story of Desari has gone, unfortunately. They've been winning this 2nd FUT Champions Cup of the year, but there is still a stat there for Desari that he's won a major every single year since FIFA 17. This could be a chance for Diogo to now build something. Unfortunately, Messi in no man's land there with Ruud Gullit in the way.
I think Desari will win a major throughout this year, but he's often been a slow starter, has MS Desari, and I think again, sort of proving that statement correct. We've had 2 events in the last 2 weeks.
I think the thing that...
It's not unbelievable either. Yeah, he went 5-0 in Swiss, but he didn't play against Tex. He had tough matchmaking, but also I think the name value brought him through a lot of those wins. And extra time, penalties in a couple of those games. The first game that we saw, penalty shootout. So it is very much, you'd sort of say that it could have gone a really different way in a number of those games.
And one thing I'd love to touch on as well, this came from Maestro himself. He said, I'm good at this FIFA 20, but I don't know my tactics yet.
I'm not great. I'm good. I'm not great at FIFA 20. And for someone to have the self-realization of that as well is a big thing, because some pro players maybe think they're better than what they are. Some think they're worse than what they and they're actually better than they think they are. And
I think
they sort of beat themselves down a little bit.
I think we are just so early into the year as well, Richard. Like, we haven't got a FUT Champions Cup in December. They've both been moved into November. So, realistically, the game comes out at the end of September. You've got
about 6 weeks until the first event.
Do you know what I mean? You've got that long, but you've only got about a month to kind of grind the game until you're looking at your first qualifiers kind of thing. So, it's really whoever can just adapt the quickest. And, you know, we've seen Tex adapt, Class Crazy, some of the names, Maestro, you know, making back-to-back FUT Champions Cups.
But that's the thing with Nicholas as well. Nicholas 99 FC. He is one of those players that he plays the game at such a tactical level, very similar to Desari, where it's going to take time. It's going to take maybe 3-4 months. Nicholas will win a major event this year. That's a spoiler, not a prediction.
You've given us a few of them. Desari to win one.
Desari and Nicholas will both win events this year.
I think the thing we have to remember as well is that we've got playoffs in June. It's a very long way away.
People are forgetting Nicholas won the playoffs.
He did. He looked incredible there. It was like he was
back to back
in Amsterdam. And of course, all the way out in Berlin. Still 0-0 in this game. 71 minutes played.
People have got very short-term memories, I feel like, in FIFA.
Of what people have achieved and what they've been able to do on the global stage.
Well, the players who don't have short-term memories are the pros who were involved in it. You were watching the interview earlier with Tex when he said, what you like against Nicholas Razek? Yeah, he beat me 7-1. He knows the scoreline, he knows the round, he knows the tournament.
He knows the goal scorers.
He could probably tell you how the goals went in as well.
You've got to think as well, these guys
play
so many games of FIFA. Speaking of NSC though, Netshoes Esports, the organisation that looks after Nse Vini, also Lucas Rep, tournament to not remember, unfortunately for the Brazilian who crashed out in the Swiss rounds after doing so well in FUT Champions Cup Stage 1.
He was one of the FIFA Masters, weren't he? A top 4 finish for Lucas Rep. However, all the FIFA Masters really on the PlayStation have not been successful.
I think we've got to talk as well that there was 11 Brazilians coming into this tournament. It's been a very heavy South American tournament. At the moment, we've got one name through, one Brazilian through at the moment. There is a potential that we could have 2 more through.
Yeah, all the FIFA Masters on PlayStation not successful, apart from Crazy Clash Gamer. And he's the one standing strong.
He's the one that, to be honest, has backed it up again. There's not many players that have been able to come back to this FUT Champions Cup and back it up once again. He's been able to do so, and he's been so impressive as the Italian. He'll be back tomorrow for our Championship Sunday. 5 minutes left in this game. Pele into R9. Try and make something happen, but just look at the number of red shirts back, including R9 as well. He's kind of happy to get back and defend. Trying to break down those 2 banks of 4 is going to be so difficult, and you can see Diogo trying to speak to his coach there, probably saying, you know, what can I do? I can't break him down. Added time to come, and he will get the last chance of the match. Surely an achievement from him to get one step further in the tournament. It won't mean anything to him, though, because it's all about that re-qualification, Richard. It's all about getting into the Final Four, the top 4, re-qualifying for the Champions Cup January. So you don't have to have that worry of qualification. It will be a chance for Nse Vini now. Lovely little dink all the way nearly across to Pele. It was Pele on Pele there, defended. And referee, are we done? Was there going to be one more chance? Oh no, last chance of the game. Keeper's off his line. And cleared away into that full-time whistle.
I'll tell you what, the confidence to bring your keeper all the way out there with Ter Stegen in the last play of the game. It's
We've seen penalties he gave, have we?
It's commendable right there for Diogo. As again, I feel like we get all these games that are 0-0 going into the second leg.
We do get a lot of first leg 0-0s, Richard, I'll be honest. We've had a few of them. I'm not sure what Diogo is saying to the Brazilian. Of course, Diogo fluent in Portuguese. See the native language for Brazil as well. I'm sure they'll be saying. Are we jumping straight back into the next game, or we having a small break between them? There really wasn't many chances in that. We had 2 chances early on for Diogo. The ball was just pinging around the box, and you can see by the expression of Francisco that probably he's got nothing to really say about the game, because he played pretty well, didn't unfortunately score a goal. On the other side of that, for Nse Vini, first event of the year, important to really, make a name for himself, which he has already. He got himself out of Swiss 3-2. He's already got points on the board. It's just if he can re-qualify himself again for FUT Champions Cup number 3.
As we are waiting here, I'd like to give a shout out to Nse Vini's coach there. Very smart jumper shirt combination. Good stuff.
Would you rock that outfit maybe tomorrow? Are we going to get?
Well, if I get a jumper like that, it's a little bit hot in this studio where we're commentating from, but when I see a good jumper shirt combination,
you gonna just
I feel like
just give a little mention.
It needs to get the recognition it deserves, because not enough people do recognise that combo. Now we're coming into the winter times. It's cold in Bucharest. There were a frost on the ground this morning.
There was.
As I stepped out
think
the
there was
hotel.
a little bit of snow.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, it was very chilly. Speaking of something that looked beautiful, did you just see that FUT Champions Cup there? There's only a select number of players' names on that. Maybe a new one to be added in Bucharest.
We got 4 players' names on it.
Crazy to think.
Rocky, Tex, Desari, and Dolomite.
Saudi Arabian, a German, a French player, and of course Tex, whose name's been on it the most. Still got a new champion potentially to be crowned tomorrow. So make sure you keep your day free, because we are going to have knockout football once again coming to you live from Bucharest tomorrow. Semi-finals from each console, a cross-console final as well to end the day. Someone will be lifting that trophy, and again a cheque worth $50,000. We are into this second leg now, 0-0. It's all to play for. And around about now, Richard, our other quarter-final should be kicking off. Chance early on, fantastic save on the rebound. Eusebio will get there. And finally, we have a breakthrough. Nse Vini scoring it with Eusebio.
Pretty harsh in the way that that's gone in, but Eusebio, like a fox in the box, quickest to react to the ball up in the air, and downwards header into the goal. Zambrotta can't do anything about that one, as Nse Vini, 5 minutes into this second leg, breaks the deadlock, and after 0-0 in the first leg, it's a one and done. 90 minutes of FIFA to secure $7.5 grand, and also re-qualification into FUT Champions Cup Stage 3.
I think as well, if anything, surely that has got to be a wake-up call for Diogo. Nse Vini might not have created too many chances in that first leg, but all he needs is one chance, as we've just seen that.
Free kick.
A bit of a controversial one as well. Johan Cruyff was the victim there. And at that ball. He's going to go all the way out to Vieira, maybe. He's just waiting on the edge of the box. Probably doesn't want to play that, though. Plays short instead to Zambrotta. Kind of fake shots it through his player's legs. Vieira, back to Zambrotta. Pele back to goal. It's going to fall back to Pele again. It will be a routine day for Ter Stegen.
First 10 minutes, Nse Vini getting a couple of shots on target here. We've seen more action in the first 10 minutes than we saw in the entire 90 in the first leg.
Really, that is true. Lovely ball over the top from Diogo. Pele, unfortunately, though, just flicking over his head and flicking it back into danger. As we were saying, Diogo, a fantastic first half in that first leg. Conceding just 4 minutes in, though, certainly going to hurt him. I think he did so well as well on the rebound, did Nse Vini, to ensure that Eusebio was just charging it, as you said, Richard, a fox in the box, quite literally.
Just first to react, went he smelt blood in the water and rose up to fire Vini into the lead. And right now, this is the position that he's in. He can afford to keep hold of the ball, to play the waiting game, to play the long game.
Pull it back to Pele, nearly onto the left foot of Johan Cruyff. We know, once again, another one of those players you could say in the five-star weak foot club. There's only so many in there.
Quite an exclusive club.
Yeah, certainly is. Speaking of someone, Zambrotta in possession. Skills out from Neymar, unfortunately not getting him too far, though. You win this, you re-qualify for FUT Champions Cup 3. Pull it now into Messi. Surely a chance and surely a goal. Once again, that near post finish, working time and time again here at the FUT Champions Cup.
Probably one of the top 2 most effective ways of scoring, the highest percentage chances of going in right there at the near post. You get it inside, and no matter if it's Messi on the left, he'll use his left foot to power it into the near post, or if he's on his weaker side, he'll just use the outside of his boot and hit it high into the goal, as you see here. Played it into the opportunity and then just smashed at the near post. No chance for Vini between the sticks. One apiece, and you talk about the exciting game that Diogo promised. This is what we see.
Yeah, maybe it's starting to come alive now. We're all square. 24 minutes on the clock. And our second to last quarter-final here from day 2 of the FUT Champions Cup stage 2 here in Bucharest, Romania. These first 30 minutes have been a lot more exciting than we saw in the first leg. 90 minutes of a stalemate. And I think when you just put him in that best-of-1 mind frame, it does change you a little bit, because you know you're going to have to come out attack. You know you're simply going to have to come out and try and score a goal. If you don't do that, you're going to go to extra time and you're probably going to be, you know, trying your luck on a penalty shootout.
Pretty cheap corner there he's gave away, Diogo. If he's made to pay from this, it could be one of those where it stings a little bit more.
Pele now. Little disguised pass. Still in possession. Watch out for Cruyff as well on the edge of the box. And R9 as well. He'll be waiting patiently as well for that chance. They can go on either foot as well. Let's not forget that. Look at that run from Messi. He's driving forward. Just onside. Able to link him with Pele. Look at R9 go.
He's off. Messi were offside. The second time he played it back, just wandered offside, did Leo Messi. And
those are the moments that I think Diogo needs a coach for. You can just see him there, just saying, probably, how's that offside? Oh, that's not great. Remember as well, there's only a select few of those youngsters in the world of competitive FIFA that have been able to make it onto this international stage. We've seen the likes of Dolomic, Sort of like a Kailan FIFA as well, all the way from South Africa. Tex. It really has been refreshing over what the last 12 months, 24 months. We've seen this new influx of talent in the FIFA scene.
Yeah, 100% agree with the statement there. Mark Marley as well. I think 19, just turned 19 very recently.
I'm sure many more out there will be watching him, wondering how I can get involved.
For Filter as well.
It certainly has been the tournament of many surprises. I think, you know, coming into it, no one would expect Moalva to be 4-0 down in a first leg. He was, unfortunately, he crashed out the tournament.
We'll just say one of the most unpredictable tournaments we've had, and yet Tex and Razek is in another semi-final, just to go to show the consistency that both of those two players have.
Silly free kick given away.
The extreme high levels of not only pressure they put on themselves, but the high levels of consistency and talent that they both possess.
I think the thing is as well, Richard, that's not just consistency this year. It was consistency last year and on FIFA 18.
FIFA 17, Razek.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and Razek, he's just he makes it to the knockouts every single time. There's a select few players that can do that in every single tournament they play in Tex as well. Part of that conversation.
He just grasps FIFA very easily, I feel like, and he finds the best way to win and the most effective way to win very, very quickly, does Nicholas Razek.
Able to adapt as well quite quickly. Scored a lot of goals as well. He's an attacking player. Added time of 3 minutes to score at 1-1. Both those goals coming in this first half. Might get one more chance though. Diogo, he's let the ball run past him, R9. Alisson was on the ground, but it was actually Maldini that saved the day. He wasn't there, that's going into the back of him there, and that's 2-1 to Diogo.
Could have bounced anyway, couldn't it, that rebound? How many times you see goalkeeper and defender getting each other's way and the ball just bouncing around the box? On that occasion, didn't go to plan for Diogo. See the stats there, 4 shots, 3 shots on target. Diogo with 2 apiece. Passing accuracy extremely high, as you expect to see at pro events, 94 and 93% respectively.
I think as well, what's just, you know, so much more important, we've actually seen, you know, shots flying, because the first game we saw at half-time 2 shots, and those 2 shots were to Diogo. You'd have to say, from what we've seen so far, Nse Vini has certainly looked the better player in these first 45 minutes. And speaking of which, is he going to be making a change right now? We can see his bench in front of us. I mean, he's not even starting, not starting Messi or Ronaldo. Yeah,
very icon-heavy front four, isn't it, with Neymar as well involved in there. Well,
he's back Cruyff from the word. Go. Many players will do that, many will often bring him on. And the likes of Gorilla out there is a huge fan of Cruyff.
Pele, R9, Cruyff and Eusebio leading the line for Vini. All the regular boys off the bench as well. This is CR7, Messi, Neymar, Mateus, all featured.
Well, then into this second half. Really is going to be a smash and grab. What you're going to be grabbing, though, is a re-qualification for the next FUT Champions Cup. A place in Championship Sunday, the 800 Global Series points and the prize money that comes with it. You know, a word on the Masters programme for this year. If you like the introduction of it?
I do. I really do, yeah. I think it rewards players who have played well and who have competed well at events, and arguably relieves one of the biggest pressures of being a pro player, which is qualifying. Going back to Brazil as well as a nation, it feels like the reason we've seen so many new Brazilians competing is because of the limited amount of spots that South America gets. So you see Brazilians make events, make the top 4, opens up more spots for Brazilians.
Why, yeah.
Fiddle was so happy when Harry got that spot.
Because it opens up another fantastic chance for him.
For a North American player.
That means that Harry won't have to obviously re-qualify. on the 14th and 15th of December. That is the next qualification weekend. If you are foot verified and you want to try and make it to a Foot Champions Cup, that's the time to do it. Diogo in possession. He's waiting for a pause as well. Messi just trying to tee his run. Still can't play him through. Van Dijk's come all the way over there and won the ball.
No, we've got 30 minutes left on the clock. It's only Cruyff coming off. Looking towards Leo Messi to come on, and now you've seen the regular gold players coming onto the pitch. Inform Messi and also 92 Neymar Jr. Eusebio and R9 still on the pitch here for Nse Vini. Garrincha, the 92 Garrincha could be a player as well. I've been really impressed by Garrincha.
I think I saw him a lot more in Foot Champions Cup Stage 1, like making big match moments.
Before Messi had an inform.
Yeah,
it shows how temperamental these teams are at the minute.
And really the only change as well that we've seen, to be honest. Most teams, as you said, Richard, it's been 2 weeks, 14 days since we were last here in Bucharest. What really is going to change? We've had a team of the week or two in between. You would probably only have to lose one of the team of the weeks though, because of the players, the date of the players that are available.
Yeah, I don't think the Inform Ronaldo is actually on the accounts. I'm not too sure because no one's used the Inform Ronaldo. Off the bench at least, it's still a 93 Ronaldo.
We are going to see that. We're going to see movement. I think the crazy thing is as well, we've got about a month and a half gap between the next Foot Champions Cup, so there is going to be movement in teams. When Team of the Year comes out as well, it's going to really shake things up, and players are going to be probably having conversations between themselves in who works, who doesn't work, because we won't get to see anyone until we get to the event.
It's going to set tremors through the FIFA, you'd say, ecosystem, because there might be a few Team of the Years that are going to shake up teams, and with the restrictions, you have to then pick and choose who you want.
Messi, you see what you're trying to do, just line up that left foot shot. And in the end, just done enough. 22 minutes left. Still all square. Interesting choice of pass there from Diogo. A little toe punt out to the left-hand side, in which he'll just about recover possession. Neymar will be through as well on the left-hand side. You can see the space for him. He'll drive past Carlos Alberto. That's Maldini trying to chase him all the way to the back post. Eusebio, that's a very heavy pass. And it's too heavy for the Portuguese icon to latch onto it.
Now in the final 20 minutes, this is do or die time for either of those two players. I'm sure nobody wants a penalty shootout after what Diogo's gone through with the heartbreak and the jubilation of penalties in the last two Foot Champions Cups.
I'll tell you one thing there, Richard, even though Tuga might be at the tournament, I'm sure he'll be watching this somewhere and supporting his fellow countrymen. Just like Diogo did for him in his previous matchup against Dami, which was a really tight and contested matchup. Obviously, Dami re-qualifying himself for the next Foot Champions Cup and setting himself up for a semi-final against Paolo Nizzo from SBQR. R9. That locks into Eusebio. It really could be a different story. Clearly not happy with something, Diogo.
Cue to pause. What, about 7-8 minutes before the last pause as well?
Or is it very particular in their
approach
pauses? Yeah, when they queue up. Clearly they're not feeling something in the team. Obviously we can't hear the whispers from the studio of what's not going well. It's going to run out of play, and that will be a chance to make the change. Obviously we can't see the POV of Diogo to see really what's not happy with him, but it will give a chance to Nse Vini to make the change that he needs to make.
I'm intrigued to see if it's going to be 92 Garrincha coming on to at that right cam position, or is it going to be Cristiano Ronaldo? He's moved Messi in field. He was playing Messi out wide. He's now moved Messi in at central cam. If we could jump over to Diogo's point of view to see what changes he is making, that would be extremely beneficial, because he was the one who actually did cue the pause.
Yeah, with just 10 minutes left as well. Maybe is it time for fresh legs for him, or does he just want to make a change with his tactics? If not, we will just have to wait and see the substitutions that maybe he brings on. I think, as you said, Richard, it's key what subs you are going to make if, we can say if going to extra time, because there is 10 minutes left. There will be chances.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think the chances that are going to be created right now in the next 10 minutes, there might be one clear cut, altogether, and that's involving both players. But there's going to be nothing really, I don't think, that's going to be separating these two. I potentially see extra time in the future for both of these two players.
Here we go then. There will be one more chance, if not more.
Just there, a little bit rushed for me. You've won the goal kick, you've won the knockdown, and then you see the attacking run, and you give the ball back to your opponent when you try and force a through ball.
Sabio going nowhere, really. It's all about getting your midfielders on the ball. So many players will do it. So beneficial as well, just keeping the ball between Vieira and Pullet just for a few seconds. It will start to cue runs from your front three. Even your front four, of course, if you are playing a 4-2-3-1, there will be that cam in front, or three cams. And your out-and-out striker to try and create some sort of movement. Diogo will get a chance here. Eusebio, can the Portuguese icon himself produce the magic for him?
Just dragged back into a little bit of a cul-de-sac. He had nowhere to go, and the end of the road was closed off.
Possession will change hands. Vini scored his opener in 4 minutes in this game, and us all off guard. He's going to get the bounce as well. It's going to fall to him. Vieira reads it well.
A minute left.
I think we'll have another extra time on our hands, Richard. Long ball forward. The bounce doesn't fall to Messi, and once again, it's like deja vu. We're back in extra time again. Are we going to have another penalty shootout? We'll have to wait and see.
Once again, we're in a Diogo game, and once again, we're heading towards penalties. As long as
he's probably thinking, I would love to just get it finished
the
in the two legs
change,
without jumping into 30 minutes of additional time in which he's going to have to move into. I don't know how many games he's gone to extra time, but he's in the last 2 for Champions Cups, he's been there a lot, especially in knockout football. He's been to penalty shootouts, not once but twice, in which he won one. And of course, he's lost one in the past. See the changes that Vini will be making now. Is it time for Cristiano Ronaldo? Or are you going to be someone that will, are you going to back R9 for that one big match moment just because of the versatility that he can provide going forward, the stats that we know he can provide going forward?
The only problem with R9, the stamina is just a little bit of an issue with him. I think it could be, I want to say 81 stamina on his 94 rated icon.
He does look a little bit knackered right now. Taking place. There's your substitutions made. Extra time in front of us right now. As we said, we have another game underway. We believe so. Between Molnar Garbo and Gabriel Pien. You see from Team R10, another Brazilian in action.
Yeah, that game currently underway, and
of course will be played over the 2 legs. There's a lovely through ball from Nse Vini to find Neymar. Done very well to get him into that area. Reach out on the edge of the box because R9 will be waiting there. There's Hullet. Just rushed that pass. And like just stepped out on the ball. Someone else that's won the ball straight away as well. Carlos Alberto. Too predictable with the pass.
Currently 1-1 that game as it stands between Molnar Garbo and Gabriel.
Yeah, what a run as well for Molnar Garbo. From being knocked out in Swiss rounds in stage 1 to now getting himself into the knockout stages. He calls himself the Hungarian beast. At the moment, he's been living up to that regarding his international presence. When it comes to the global series, again, is that too heavy for Neymar? No, it's not. Look at the back post. Eusebio is there.
Zambrotta with some heroic defending right there. to get back and not only get the right side of his man, but to just calmly take a touch and play that out from Diogo. Great composure.
Messi. How many step overs? He's making me dizzy. Vieira into R9. Scoop turn away, and scoop turn just wide of the right hand post.
We have just had a little update as well from the Gabriel versus Molnar Garbo game, and it was 1-1 for quite a long time, and now in the second leg, Gabriel leading 4-2 versus Molnar Garbo.
I'm looking to send a second Brazilian, Richard, into Championship Sunday. Of course, if Vini wins this, it will be 3 of them going through. Fantastic outing once again for South America, and I know there'll be Brazilians out there as well that didn't make it this far. We're thinking, okay, there's a chance for me now to re-qualify via the qualifiers, of course, taking place in December. That's half time in extra time, Richard. Obviously, chances split evenly in that game. There was a chance right at the end there for R9 on the edge of the box, just though a little bit too heavy.
And now Garrincha making his impact on the pitch with 15 minutes left. A fresh Garrincha coming on, I think it was. Unless he decided not to make the change. He did, at right cam. There you see him. Charging down the ball for Nse Vini.
Can he beat the hero? For him. 15 minutes left. Surely not another penalty shootout. Diogo will be thinking in the back of his mind. He's thinking, I don't think my heart can take it. I've been there so many times.
When I was chatting to him earlier, he sort of had the ethos of just try and put it down the middle, because usually the opponent will dive and they'll not have the sort of bottle to stay down the middle.
Let's just hope that Nse Vini's coach is not listening to us right now. I mean, how many times can you go down the middle? That's the question. R9.
I mean, you'll watch it, won't you, though? You'll see who you're playing, and you'll watch the game plan. You'll watch the penalties, just like any goalkeeper would study the penalty takers and the tendencies of going left or right.
R9 had a little sniff down the edge of the box, but it was quickly cancelled out. Sure, the pressure's building for Diogo as well. Chances.
I think we'll get a winning goal. I don't think we'll go to penalties.
Won't be coming fast. Zambrotta just hoofs that one into Rosette. Just throws it too quickly. I think Diogo's thinking, where's my option there? Once or twice we've seen that from him. He's quite careless in possession. He's giving it away. Look at the run as well. From Messi again, he's lifted it up and went for the lob through ball. You're right, Ter Stegen, just wait for that to come to you.
For a second, I thought Ter Stegen would be like, you know what, mate, nah, I don't fancy that one.
These passes, though, a little bit risky from Diogo. Give credit to him, though. In playing these balls. Building to the last attack. Surely not back-to-back penalty shootouts in knockout football for Diogo. He won the last one, though. But I don't think penalties are many people's forte, unless you hashtag Harry.
2 minutes left. Is he waiting for the final chance? Been holding possession for about 2-3 minutes.
Forward. Minutes gone already of that time. There we go. Just lost possession as well. This could be a chance for Vini late on. Lofted through ball. Neymar could be through. Could this be the chance? Neymar! Win a corner.
Corner.
And will this be thrown directly into the box, or is he going to play it short? He's looking to the edge of the box. Maldini is there. So is Cruyff. It's going to fall to Vieira. Will the referee blow for full time? He will blow for full time. And it will be a penalty shootout.
Let's go with Neymar with the skanky run up to goal first. He makes his way around the ball. None of the pros like that run up. Vini steps up and calmly slots it into the bottom right corner to answer back. It's going to be the Portuguese man, Diogo, straight down the middle.
You can't go down the middle every single time. Garrincha steps up.
Great save.
And Van Dijk second in line. Diogo steps up again. The penalties just aren't good enough.
He's looking at his coach. He doesn't know what to do. Vini steps up, off the post and in. Pinpoint accuracy.
What a penalty.
Johan Cruyff must score penalty, and it's into the post. He greened it, and it's still off the post.
3 penalties missed. It's not looking good. Could be game over. Saved. Still hanging in it. Must score with R9. If he misses, it's game over. Somehow, Alisson has not done enough there. Hullet to step up. Score. Should be game over. It's still going on.
This game, you don't know which way it's going.
Has to score. He misses. And then Nse Vini will book a spot in Championship Sunday for tomorrow. And another Brazilian will make it back again for I can't even speak. For FUT Champions Cup number 3. Penalties just simply aren't people's forte when it comes to competitive FIFA. You said he liked going down the middle. Penalties haven't been kind.